Cross-listing, something I wanted to talk to you, and I brought Jenna with me today to talk to you about cross-listing. And the reason why mainly is because the way we do things here is I do the listings on eBay and she does the cross-posting onto other platforms. And I thought it would be perfect to have her with us to maybe give her perspective on why it is important to cross-post between eBay and the other sites. Now, we mainly cross-post between eBay and Poshmark, eBay to Mercari, and the idea is to get more eyes in front of your items. And the reason why, in my opinion, that it is a good idea to cross-post is because not everyone shops on eBay, okay? And so you're dealing with a large group of customers who are on eBay, you're limiting yourself to just eBay if that's the only place you list at. And by going over to other platforms, Poshmark and or Mercari, this opens you up to other people who have no intention. Many of them have no intention on buying on eBay. Some probably buy on all the sites, but you're opening yourself up to more opportunities. And right now, I can tell you that a lot of people are moving over to cross-posting because sales are slowing down for them on eBay. And this, for us at least, I can tell you, gives us about another, I'd say 20%, maybe 10 to 20%. I'm kind of getting up there, but 10 to 20% is probably our increase that we've seen in sales. Now, I'm sure most people would be happy to see a 10 to 20% increase in sales. Now, of course, a lot of it depends on what you're selling. Some items do better on Mercari and Poshmark as compared to eBay. Many clothing items actually can get more money on Poshmark as compared to eBay, just because the clientele tends to spend a little bit more on money on clothing and shoes and accessories. With Mercari, you're going to get a lot of people who buy a lot of the small ticket items that maybe you have a lot of competition on, maybe drop shippers and things like that. The overseas Chinese sellers, you have a lot of competition with on eBay. Well, the competition's not so much for those items on Mercari, and you tend to sell those lower ticket items pretty well on Mercari. And we're not going to really get into the other sites. There's other sites that you can consider cross-posting to as well. But these are the two that we use, and we do cross-posting every day from eBay to those platforms. And it's just something that works for us. So reading a lot of posts where people are having problems with sales. And so this led us to wanting to make a video. And I want to tell you about a solution that we use after we're done here with the video. Now, Jenna, you do cross-posting. You do it kind of every day.
Mm-hmm.
Do you find that it is, what is your opinion on actually cross-listing?
Well, I just feel like you're in a better position with more eyes on all your items. On different platforms, there's different eyes, there's different money brackets. There's, maybe somebody who can't afford something on eBay can afford something on Mercari, or, vice versa with all of the different sites. But you have a smaller competition on, let's say, Mercari for your items. So there's not as many sellers on Mercari. Poshmark's grown quite a bit. So, you're going to see more clothing on there, but you're not going to see a lot of hard goods. So quite possibly, maybe you put some of your hard goods, the smaller hard goods, on Poshmark that people don't normally see. And they're scrolling looking for whatever, or just scrolling in general. They saw a Poshmark commercial and they want to check it out. And so you want to give them an opportunity to see what is in store on Posh. And it could quite, end up in a sale where somebody may not have been looking for your item, but they found it and they thought it was a good price, and boom, you got a sale.
Yeah. And, a lot of you guys that sell on eBay, I think have become pretty bothered. I'm not happy with it, with the fact that we have to pay a lot more to sell our item on eBay. We're talking above and beyond the 13-ish% that you pay in many categories, some lower than that, depending on the category you're selling in, plus your promoted listing rates. And the suggested rates on eBay seem to get higher and higher. Well, on Poshmark, you pay 20%. That's it, 20% of the sale. But again, in many cases, you're paying, or you're actually receiving more for the item than you would actually receive on eBay. Just for whatever reason, we found that you can actually ask for a little bit more on Posh, and people will pay it. And of course, gives you a higher bar to negotiate down to if you need to. What are you gonna say?
Yeah, when I'm cross listing, I am on Poshmark and Mercari. I'm raising the price anywhere from $3 to $6, give or take, what the market might be on those two sites. And because you're more likely to get offers on, like, lower offers on Poshmark and Mercari, I start off a little higher so that I end up where I want to be in the percentage of, where we would like to sell that item for.
Yeah. And you'll find on Poshmark that there is no returns. They have like a no return policy. A buyer can open a case if there's something egregious, but you'll find that there's a lot fewer returns because Poshmark will come out and say, look, this is it. You're buying it sort of, you're buying it the way it's described. And we've had maybe one or two I think we've sold on Poshmark a good almost 5 years now. Mm-hmm. And it's not very common at all. So a lot of you guys who really are tired of the returns on eBay will find that it's not anything like that at all on Poshmark.
Yeah, we've only had 2 returns on Poshmark, and that was just, I don't even remember what the reason was, but it's very seldom. I mean, literally in 5 years, we've had 2 returns.
Cool thing is the label is out of your hands. If the item is up to 5 pounds, simply it's a priority mail label. The buyer's paying Poshmark. You don't have to set up shipping. But you do, if you do bundle, because they do allow the buyer to come in and, shop in your closet. They call it a closet instead of a store. And they can bundle the items. And then let's say they buy 4 items from you. Well, if it all fits within that 5 pound label, you're good to go. If it's above that, up to 10 pounds, then you would have to, pay the additional amount between the 5 pounds and the 10 pound priority mail label. But I mean, think about it. You're getting a whole bundle of items that are being sold, and generally, you might be able to absorb that additional shipping cost on that. So that's the one site we like to use for clothing, shoes. You can do other things like maybe household appliances, electronics.
Small ones.
Yeah. I mean, you remember 5 pounds is what the buyer pays for that label up to. So you got to keep that in mind. And of course, you're willing to go 10 pounds. That's great too. And then you simply use the USPS priority mail boxes that cost you nothing, and that saves you on supplies as well. Now, the next site, the other site we cross post over to is Mercari, and Mercari is they're at 10% plus a 2.9% processing fee, credit card processing fee that they charge. And simply the buyer will go in, find your item, either make you an offer. You can send offers to people who like your item, and generally, I'd say you do sell your items a little bit lower price on Mercari than you would on eBay. Just kind of the name of the game. I kind of look at it as an online clearance store. So if you're having a hard time moving a lot of things on eBay, you might say, okay, I'll list something on eBay, give it a month or two. And if it hasn't sold, then I'll cross list it over to Mercari. And then that gives you a way to kind of liquidate it without losing money, and at least making something above and beyond your cost. So say that you're into an item for $2, sells on eBay for 20, maybe you can sell it for 10 to 12 on Mercari, that type of thing.
You also on Mercari are able to promote. It's not I don't think a lot of people promote their items, but recently, within the last week, I've been promoting 10 items per day to see what would happen. You don't know if you don't try. And we've been selling a lot more on Mercari than we have in previous years. So, which, it's sure you're going to lose out on that very small percentage of, I don't even know what the promotion fee is. It's not, all you do is click on promote and it does whatever it does. And there's no, you don't tell it how much to promote. It's doing it itself. So anyway, that is something you can do on Mercari, and I have been having some success with it.
Now I'm going to leave a link down below for both Poshmark and on Mercari. I think it's if you've never signed up for either one of those sites, you can click on the link, and I think you get something, I think like $10 for signing up with Poshmark, and like $10.
No, it's after somebody purchases.
Mm-hmm.
So when they sign up using your link and they make their first purchase, you will earn $10. They will earn $10.
Yeah.
So
it's a win-win. We get a little, you get a little bit, just something I've never thought of doing. But since we're making a dedicated video on cross-listing, I thought that was a good idea. Now, in the past, many years ago, if you were to try to get your items that you have currently listed, let's say on eBay, over to those other sites, it would require you to go through the listing, go in and save your photos on the listing, and then you'd have to go in to hopefully have another window or monitor available to you, and you'd have to go in and open Mercari, create a listing, and you're kind of just manually doing it all over again, and then taking your photos and putting them into the listing and then launching your listing. And that would take, it's kind of cumbersome, would take quite a while. It's a very
long process if you're doing them all individually.
Yeah.
If you've got 3 sites and you're starting off on eBay, there's the majority of the information is going to come from eBay. So eBay to Posh to Mercari, it can be very tiresome, and it can take a lot of time. And, as resellers, we don't have a lot of time.
No. and you're in the past, it was like, okay, I'll hire a VA in the Philippines or Pakistan or whatever, $2-3 an hour. Been there, done that many years ago. It's not ideal. And then with the invention of a lot of these companies came along, and they've created programs. And there's some decent programs out there that do a very good job in getting your items from eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, and sometimes other platforms. And we've tried a lot of different ones. And the problem with a lot of these programs is it doesn't matter how successful you are, you're going to pay a flat fee every month, right? So by the time you get past the first introductory month where you're paying 30, 40, 50, 60 bucks or more for that particular plan that they have, well, you might get a 20, 30% discount off your first month, but then boom, full price thereon after. And when you're dealing with slow sales, sometimes it's a choice you have to make. Do I keep paying for this service, or do I just forget the idea of cross-posting? It's kind of made the idea of cross-posting prohibitive. I can't say that, but you know what I'm saying. And that's the thing. If you're dealing with slow sales, the last thing you want to do is start making cuts in your business. eBay's doing it. We're talking layoffs and all that stuff, but really you gotta be able to invest in your business. Now,
right. We as a reseller, we are paying for everything out of our own pocket, right? And so we're having subscriptions for this and subscriptions for that, and we have to pay for shipping supplies, and all of these things and all of these fees and services, they add up very, very quickly. And we think we found a solution for at least one.
Yeah, and like I said, we've used other softwares before, and they do a pretty good job. But we actually were contacted by a startup, and they showed us their software and their plan. And their plan was more sort of centered around success. So if you do well and you make sales, then you pay them. If you don't make sales, then you don't pay them. Doesn't matter how many items you switch over, you cross post over. You can do thousands of items if you need to, cross posting over to, and they only do currently Poshmark and Mercari. They're working on other platforms, of course, eBay, Poshmark, Mercari. Of course, it wouldn't be much of a cross-listing platform if they didn't have eBay. And for what they do, it works very well. We've had a solid, I'd say, week and a half to really dive down in and test this thing out. And while she's doing most of the work and she's getting in there and doing the cross posting, I got to tell you that we've been really, really impressed. And the way I look at it with this channel is that I don't want to bring anything to you guys unless I like the product and I use the product. And I can tell you that we use this particular product, we like it, and therefore I think that you guys will like it too. Now, this site, it's called TreeCat.io. So it's not .com, not anything like that. It's TreeCat.io. Now, currently it's just a US-based product. So if you are, let's say, in a different country, Canada, UK, Australia, there might be other companies that have software that you can cross-post with. I would recommend that you do try to find that company and look into cross-posting, whether you use TreeCat or not. But this is the program that we use. Now, it is still they are still working out a few kinks. And because of that, this software, if you go and sign up, there'll also be a link down below. It doesn't cost anything right now for a good solid 3 weeks-ish, 3-4 weeks. They are working on getting Stripe as the payment processor in place. But they wanted me to at least tell you guys that you can go on there and you can move your entire store over if you want, from eBay to Poshmark, eBay to Mercari, Mercari to Poshmark, and then vice versa if you want to move stuff over to eBay. And this site will take care of it. And what is cool about this, and I know a lot of people are really sort of hung up on this thing when it comes to the idea of cross-posting, is, well, I don't want to sell an item on eBay and then minutes later sell it on one of these other platforms. And they have a tool that's built in that we use that within minutes of it selling on one of the platforms, it automatically delists it from the other one. So if I have an item listed on eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, and it sells on Poshmark, the program tells the other sites to pull down the quantity. So if you only have one item listed, then it'll pull down one item. Let's say you have multi-quantity on eBay, you have 10, it'll make it 9. You have 1, it'll basically say it's sold out. That's exactly what you want with cross-posting. If you're using a tool that does not do that for you, then you are putting yourself at risk for defects with, and I'm more concerned about eBay than anything else. The other sites seem to be a little bit more lenient with it, but you're opening yourself up for defects, and that can hurt your account health. And that's the last thing you want to do, is to hurt your eBay account health. Now, this program, in fact, what the folks at TreeCat were telling me is, you see here, the first 20 people to make a video about why you like TreeCat get 1 year free. So what I'm saying is, use the link down below, try it out. If you want to just do it for the free trial and see if it's going to work for you. And if it works great for you and you feel strongly as we do about it, make a video. And I'm not sure if it's even a short video. If you're making a 30, 60-second video and you post it and then you let them know, of course, that way they can see it themselves and give you credit for it. But the first 20 people that do that are going to be able to take advantage of that. Now, as they say, it's easy as 1, 2, 3. You can import your listings. So you have an existing eBay account. You import it into their program. And once you sign up for TreeCat, there's a process that you have to follow. You have to set it up a certain way. And you would need to have your computer running so that the client actually is running in the background. You could turn your monitors off. That's what we do. We have her computer, we have the client running, and that way, your computer's on. I always leave this computer on anyway, to be honest with you, and it doesn't drain a lot of electricity. You can even have like a laptop that you're not using, do that process, one that you never use, just have it on and closed and nothing, no monitor going. And that works really good, and it's worked really well for us. But you can import your listings into this software, and then once you've imported it, you can then go in and show and I'm going to show you here just in a second what that looks like. But you can go in and cross list it over to the sites, and you can, maybe only certain type of items over here to Poshmark, and maybe other hard goods and that type of thing over to Mercari, or you can do it all if you want. It's up to you.
That's what I've done is basically there's things that are on eBay that, and mind you, the items that are being cross-listed from our eBay store is the Hot Desert Deals store. It's not from John's #1, our main account. It's from the other store that we reopened and kind of revamped it to make it a more successful store. And so all the items that are in Hot Desert Deals is going over to Poshmark and or Mercari. There are items that are only going to Poshmark, and then there's items that are only going to Mercari from eBay, and then some will all go to all three. But there's, like we were saying, there's different items for different sites.
Yeah. Yeah. And here's the pricing structure that they have. So like they say, we only get paid when you get paid. So their success relies on your success. It isn't like, here's this tool, you're going to use it. Maybe you're going to forget about it, not use it. But you're paying that company anyway. No, it's one of these things where as you succeed, they succeed. And as you can see here, for the first, maybe you can't see it. I'll try to blow it up a little bit for you so you can. But for the first 30 sales, it's now hopefully you're going to use the code down below, and that's going to give you the 50-cent fee per sale. And that fee covers the task of pulling down the item off of the other platforms, so you don't have to in the middle of the night, that type of thing. Up to 100 sales, it's 35 cents. So between 31 and 100, it's 35 cents per. If you sell in higher volumes, 101 to 500, it's only 25 cents. And more than 500 sales, it's 15 cents. So if you're really a high volume seller, and that essentially is a 20% discount by using the code down below. It doesn't cost you to use the code down below. And that's the one we have, that's FAE. So make sure you're using that. And this just gives you examples. Like if you sell 30, you're paying $15. If you sell 100 items that the tool takes down, then you're paying $39, and it works its way up. And of course, as you succeed, they succeed. It's like having a VA working for you that's keeping an eye on your account. Now, again, you get free unlimited cross listing with TreeCat. They don't charge you per, like a lot of times, like some of these programs are going to charge you for how many items you put onto other platforms. You get as much as you want. It's all you can eat there. Unlimited auto delisting. Again, it auto delists when you sell, and that's when they charge you. Only pay when cross-listing items sell. Free unlimited inventory. Free unlimited photos. Free unlimited guest accounts. So you can have someone like maybe a VA or a helper or an employee. You can set them up for that. And then use all supported e-commerce platforms. And then, like it says, requires the installing of a local agent. So it's a process you only do one time, and it gets everything set up for you. But again, for the first 3 weeks or so, maybe a month, it's going to be free until they get it set up, and they'll let you know. People have already started using the link because we did announce it on the live stream, and I haven't received any feedback, but it's been only a couple days. Now, what I want to show you here, if I can do that, is I want to show you what it sort of looks like. And Jen is probably going to be the one to kind of navigate through this one because she is kind of the resident expert here. If you want to tell us kind of where you go and what everything looks like here. Though this is TreeCat, guys.
So this is TreeCat. This is the inventory page where everything is listed. You have the option to search for items by title, description. You could even put maybe a size of say it's a size of a shoe you're looking for. You can put that in there to be able to search for what you're looking for. You can look for things that are listed on each one of these 3 platforms.
So this is a drop-down filter that she clicked on.
Yeah, and then not listed. So let's say you have items that are on eBay, but they're not on Poshmark yet. So you want to pull those up. You have different other types of choices that you can refer to: ready to list on, draft on, pending, quantity, different things that are with labels, without. So you can label, put your shoes all in one label, and so on and so forth. But you can apply your filters, and it's going to show you the items that are currently on. What happened? The items that are currently on eBay. So let's go on the first one here, these men's tactical boots. So the green box around there tells me that it's already listed on eBay, and it was listed today. And
I hate to cut you off, but I want them to be able to see it. So, okay. So hopefully, go ahead.
Okay. So let's say you go and you click on the item. Okay. So it's here. It has all the information that eBay requires, right? Well, if you're going to, let's say we're going to go and we want to put this on Poshmark. So we're going to copy this information. Down here, there's a bunch of actions that you can take on eBay, right? And so you're going to copy this item, and you want to copy it. Currently, I'm going to do it for Poshmark. So you make it green. So all I did was click on it. You copy it. Then I'm going to click on this square because it's not red. I want it to turn a different color. So you click there. Now, for instance, you're going to see the description. You're going to need to modify that, whether you're in Mercari or Poshmark, because of the fact that they don't give you large description banks. So for this example, I am going to take out all of the first part of it and just remove it and leave a basic description. And so you want to check your price. You want to make sure for Poshmark, they always make you put an original price. No, don't put that, put 0.
Okay.
And then category is men, subcategory, shoes, boots, size is standard, the country US, size variation is the size, which I didn't catch, size 14. So we're going to scroll down into 14. Colors, what was it? Black. So black, and you can also start to type the words if you want. I don't have the keyboard in my hand because John's hoarding it, but
I can type.
You can type it in if you don't see it right away or what have you. Are these Columbia?
No, they're I think it's tactical gear.
Okay.
So it's an off-brand. It's a pretty good boot though.
Okay, so go ahead and type it in there.
Okay.
New with tags, no. You can put your style tags in, but for right now, I'm just going to leave it blank. You're going to go up here and you're just going to save your changes. It's going to turn yellow. So you're going to see the dotted line here, and you're going to see where it says in yellow, ready to list. So now all I have to do is go down to the bottom for the actions on Poshmark. You click list, you highlight in green the box. So you just click on the Poshmark logo, hit list. Okay, so now what it's doing is it is pending, which means it is currently beginning to list. You can always go into down here in the right-hand corner. It says events, and it's telling us what it's doing. And this will load events saying whether you're cross-listing, whatever your event that you just created is going to list. There are times where I have over 100 things going.
And you could just, like we said, you can turn your monitors off, keep your computer running, of course, allow it to do its thing, walk away, go make dinner, go do other things, and then come back and check on it if you want.
And just keep in mind, too, that because this service or this software, it does take time. It's not an immediate thing. It takes a couple of minutes for each task to be completed. And so there are times where you're going to be listing like a mad person. But even though this is pending, I can still go back to my inventory and I can do it all over again. or do something different. Let's say I want to take something that's on Poshmark, but I don't see it on Mercari. This is too big. I can't see.
Okay. Let me see. Oh, it's even bigger. Okay, there you go. Is that better?
And yeah. And then you just apply. And so if I wanted to put these items on Mercari, I could do that too, because I have a whole slew of them to do. And so there are lots of learning curves. There are lots of things to know, and, you know, colors to take note of. And there's a lot of features in here. It's kind of you're playing with it to see how it functions best for you. Because there are some tools on here I don't use. There's a lot more tools on here that I use than I don't use. And so you can always sync all of your information by doing a full sync, which that does is it's taking the information from the platform that you choose to sync, say eBay. It does take a very long time, a couple of hours, to sync all of the information, because it's taking everything from that item, the description, the title, the details, all of that information is being imported into TreeCat, and it's having it. So it's going to take a while, especially depending on how many items you have.
And real quick, just to add to that, then the discussions I've been having, that's being set up to where it's going to be a lot faster as we get into like the next month or so. It's going to be a lot faster.
Yeah.
And again, you don't have to be on that screen. And another thing I like about TreeCat as compared to some of the other softwares that we've used before, like one particular, I won't give the name. You have like a bunch of tabs opened in your browser, and you have to go in and each one of those launch the listing to clear the item out of there, and it takes a lot of your resources. So you can go within one screen, do all the work, and it's not going to tie up a lot of your resources. And I think that's I have a good computer, and it was slowing me down. So this works really well.
And I don't know, do you want to click on here and show them?
No, I mean,
there's different tabs.
There's so much things that's going on here, but you know,
there's lots of information in here. You're going to put all of your information here. Now, the key information that you need to know about is that it's called an agent. So rather than a, what are these things called?
Oh, tabs?
No.
I don't know. Oh. You're talking about extensions, like a Chrome extensions. Yeah.
It's kind of like an extension, but it's not. They call it in their verbiage, it's called an agent. And your agent has to be connected. If it's not connected, nothing will work. And so it's very important that you follow the instructions when you sign up. You need to watch the video and follow it exactly how they have it done. Had I not followed instruction like that video stated, I would have made some mistakes, because you think you know from doing extensions on other things. You think you know, but you don't.
and look, it's a learning curve. Everything you do that's new is a learning curve. But the whole goal here is to find ways to get more sales. And of course, getting more eyes in front of your items leads to getting more sales. And that's what we've noticed. That's part of our routine. Maybe if you haven't done it for various reasons, maybe this is something you can look into, because it's not going to cost you anything for the first few weeks at the very least. And that'll give you an idea if you want to continue with the program. And it's going to be for a lot of people, and for some people it's not, but you'll never know unless you try it. And right now is the best time to try it, because it doesn't cost you a thing. And really, look, we're working with TreeCat because we believe in the product, but this is not one of those kind of videos where they said, okay, you have to make a video for us. We're choosing to do this. We believe that this is a good tool. And I think that this is going to rival many of the tools that are out there. And for the price point that you're dealing with, again, you're making money, they're making money. It's a win-win kind of situation.
And I believe, because I believe in them wholeheartedly, and that's because they are not just including us in this, you know, the launch of their product, but they are also very open to feedback. I cannot tell you how many different phone calls and Zoom calls we have been on, or mostly John, but you know, I always chime in because I'm the one doing it. But there's a lot of communication back and forth, and we have expressed where we would like to see certain things changed or implemented to make things run a lot more smooth. There are different features that are going to be coming in the future after we, you know, get the kinks out of this initial stage of whatever, you know, goes on in the beginning. You know, with startups, there's going to be little hiccups that you're going to run into, and that's okay. As long as there's people on the other side that are willing to listen, and they do.
Yeah. And there's one feature that's going to be a game changer for those who like to cross post, or maybe already cross post and don't have this thing, but it involves the end item sell similar process. And I don't want to go into it too much now because it's something that's being worked on behind the scenes. I want to make sure that it's implemented before we talk about it. Wouldn't be fair on them to, tell you about something that maybe they're not able to make happen. Make sure that they're able to make this thing happen. So one of those things you're going to have to stay tuned. It's something that we'll announce here on this channel. But that's pretty much the gist of it. TreeCat.io. Again, if you're new to Poshmark or Mercari, check the links down below. We'll have a link to get you signed up to maybe you can make some money, we can make some money kind of thing. And then, of course, use the link for TreeCat. It's free. And then once they start, if you stick with TreeCat, once you start making sales, once the billing phase starts to happen, then by having that link, by clicking on the link down below, you're going to be already set up to get the 20% off, which gives you the 50 cents per delist per sale, basically. And of course, your volume will dictate what your total bill will be on that. So again, just wanted to give you that. Thank you. It's almost 40 minutes. Usually, you guys know I don't like making videos this long, but I really feel like cross-listing is an important way to make a little bit extra money instead of just relying and having all your eggs in the eBay basket. But figuring out how to make cross-listing work for your business. Hopefully this video helped you, but figuring it all out is yet another example of how flipping ain't easy. And Jenna's going to be probably in Texas by the time you guys see this video. So we will see you guys I will see you guys on Friday. I do have a guest lined up. You'll have to tune in and see who that is. But in the meantime, I want you guys to have an excellent rest of your day. Take care, everyone.
Take care, everyone.